Alright guys, what is going on? Welcome back to my incredibly messy garage. I was driving the Miata the other day and the brakes were squeaking. So I checked the brake pads out and it looks like they are pretty darn low. So I've got to replace brake pads. And then while I was doing, I forgot what I was doing. I was doing something else, but I noticed my sway bar bushings, or sway bar end link bushings are incredibly worn. So figured while I'm doing brakes, I might as well replace those. And then another item on my list was the fuel filter back here. And I figured, well, I'm gonna have the wheels off and the car jacked up for the brakes anyway, so I might as well do the fuel filter as well. So the parts aren't even here. They're supposed to arrive later today. So I'm just gonna get the car jacked up. I'll probably get to the rear first, see how that goes, and then we will go from there. Over there. All right. So I don't know if you can see on the video here, but those sway bar end links are quite worn indeed. So first thing I'm gonna do is get some PB Blaster on those, and then I'll also put some on the brake calipers just to make things a little easier for me later. So we'll start with that. Oh, and before you do this, put the old handbrake down. Make sure it's down. Because I guess on these cars there's a little mechanism on these brakes that we've got to unwind. Now I don't remember doing that last time I did brakes on a Miata, but shoot, that was, you know, many years ago at this point, so we will just do it by the book. The rotors, they've got a, nah, I wouldn't even say they've got a groove in them, so we're just gonna reuse these because why waste the money? All right, so the first nut we want to remove is this 14 millimeter here. It's the one that's actually a part of the caliper, not the one holding the caliper to the line. So 14 millimeter, just undo this. And then in here, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but there is a little hex head we've got to back out. So I'm gonna do that on both sides. All right, so back here, just gonna take a 4 millimeter Allen wrench and spin the caliper back, lefty loosey. And like I said, this is something I completely forgot about because it's just on the rear brakes on these old Miatas here. But as you can see, the caliper is retracting a little bit. One thing that I did just think of though that we should probably do is and our brake fluid reservoir, we probably want to open that up to relieve just a little bit of pressure. So I'm just gonna crack it open and that should be all right. All right, quick update here. So for the brake pads, once I got the caliper retracted there, there's a 10 millimeter bolt right here. It'll be this bolt in your caliper like that. What you'll have to do is just hold on, give me 1 second. I'm moving some stuff around over here. You'll just take this cap that's here, just pull this off gently with a pair of pliers or something, don't break it, and then you'll see that 10 millimeter bolt. Just loosen that 10 millimeter bolt there, and since your calipers are retracted and this is only one of the 2 brake pins, it'll actually hinge on this top pin here. And then, so just by letting it hinge, I was able to disassemble the brakes. I took pictures of the layout of these little M clips and stuff before I took them off, so that was pretty straightforward. Obviously, I'm just waiting for the new parts still. Hopefully they'll show up sometime here today. And then the sway bar end links, it's a 14 millimeter, and this is how the bolts and nuts look. I just took an impact to this side like this, and then this one I just worked through the back with a 14 millimeter wrench. And then obviously just make note of how your nuts and bolts are oriented. So this is why I've got everything laid out just like I took it off. And as you can see, these were pretty worn. This car came from Arizona, so the rubber doesn't love the desert sometimes. So yeah, these are stiff as heck. Obviously worn, as you can see. So just waiting on new parts. I'm gonna go try to mess with the fuel filter cover now, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, so the fuel filter is located on the passenger side, just in front of the rear subframe right there. This cover has these little Phillips screws right here, and they pop into these little clips. And what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 5 of those guys. You'll have a lot of fun with that one. It's in a terrible spot. Shout out Mazda. Now, believe it or not, in all the years of owning Miatas, I've never once replaced a fuel filter. Definitely a maintenance item that I was sleeping on, so we will see how that goes. I'm gonna leave that for the end because it's kind of messy. So once the parts come in and I'm done with everything else, then I will worry about the dang, look at that. Then I will worry about the fuel filter. So we're just gonna kind of hit the brakes for now and just wait on some parts. All right, well, I just heard the UPS truck drive off. What is that, a 1, 2, 3? I mean, that's cool, but dang, we couldn't have got anything a little cooler. It's our invoice there. What do we got? What do we got? Sway bar end links. All the good stuff. So let's take a peek. All right, so for these bad boys, the information I found online, anywhere between 32 and 44 foot-pounds. I just set it to 36, somewhere in the middle. Obviously, you don't have to go super crazy with these, but just in case you guys were wondering. All right, well, that was a fun time inhaling fuel fumes for the last 20 minutes. So this guy, as you can see, holds quite a bit of fuel, and there will also be fuel coming from the line. I took the gas cap off to, try to depressurize the fuel system a little bit. Didn't do much. There was fuel everywhere in the garage. Like I said, I've been breathing it for 20 minutes, so it feels great. Basically, I just undid the one bolt holding the fuel filter in, and I did not touch the bracket itself. And then I just used pliers to undo the fuel line. That was it. Pretty straightforward. Nothing too crazy there, but like I said, it smells terrible in here. So I'm gonna let it air out before I do anything else. All right, these front pads are complete cakewalk compared to the rear. All you've got is one 15mm bolt here. Just undo that. Your caliper will swing up. Take these little clips out. They slot into the brake pads in 4 spots. Take those out gently. My set did not come with new ones, so you'll have to reuse them. And then literally just take the pads out. I push the piston back using the old pads and the C-clamp here. And then once you've done that, just grease everything up, put them back in place, and that's it. Super simple. Alright, so it's the next day, and today I'm going to try to replace my glove box handle. Like many Miatas, it is broken. I thought I got it open using a little piece of the handle before, but I don't know, it's been a minute. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's locked. Here's the new part from Mazda. The only issue with this is it doesn't come with a lock, so if you can't get into your glove box, as in your keys don't work, this isn't going to help you. But it is a replacement handle for somebody in my situation, so let me get my key and we'll try to figure this out. There we go. Alright, I've already been in here, just some napkins. So you're gonna need a Phillips screwdriver to undo those 3 screws there, and then we'll figure the rest out. Alright, so you definitely need a short screwdriver to get in there. Got that figured out, and this bad boy just drops off. Now we should be able to just pop these little tabs out here using a pick, and then we're gonna take the lock out of this one and put it in the new one. So I'm gonna pop the tabs out of the old one first. Alright. Push on that little, you'll see a little pin right here, or a little brass piece sticking out. Push on that, yank it out, take our little cover, put it back on there. Alright, we got those screwed in. That looks good. Give it a quick try with the key, which I'm pretty sure I sat on. We're gonna lock her up, and that's locked, and it still opens. So, what did we do wrong here? Alright, well, back to the drawing board. Alright, so my issue was this little plastic guy was not seated all the way, so the lock mechanism wasn't working. So I've got that seated, and let's try again. There we go, much better.